I've always believed that the greatest gift ever handed to humanity was the ability to forget. That same gift that helps you bury painful memories and old mistakes is the one that conceals the most important memory of all, your own divinity. So why did you choose to enter this game in the first place? Right, you forgot. Let me remind you, you are a fragment of the Creator who laced up and stepped onto this field on purpose. You arrived here carrying a deep spiritual assignment, and the point of it all is to remember what you already are, a creator. What you decide to bring into being is entirely your call. That's not mine to dictate. So, what's it going to be? I'm not here to hand you your purpose. I'm here to help you recall that the power to build it was always yours. You chose this round of spiritual forgetting for one reason alone: to grow into something bigger than what you were when you began. By the time we're done here, you'll understand exactly why you agreed to forget your own godhood, and how remembering it is the switch that lets you shape anything you desire. Picture every other living creature on this planet. Doesn't matter which one. A wolf, a cat, a bird weaving a nest right outside your window. Every one of them operates on instinct, a fixed script written into them before birth. They can't break from it, and honestly, they probably wouldn't want to. The wolf hunts exactly as its ancestors did. The bird builds the same nest its species has always built. Humans are wired differently. We run on something far more complex: free will. Our choices are the one force on this earth capable of rewriting the program we were born with. What life has in store for you is stored in your subconscious, the automatic part of your mind. It holds on to everything, even the things you've forgotten. Your conscious mind is the one doing the programming, feeding the automatic mind reminders that you've always had the ability to create. Every choice you make lines your automatic mind up with a version of your life that already exists somewhere on a higher plane. Superstring theory suggests our reality is one of 10 dimensions. The instant you decide something, you start pulling that version of your life down from a higher dimension into this dense physical third dimension we're standing in right now. Think of it as a giant game of hopscotch. If you're old enough to remember life before smartphones took over, you probably remember the simple joy of playing outside. Now map your soul's journey onto that same hopscotch game. There's a cost to entry. It takes your memory of your own divine nature. Back then, you'd chalk out the squares, toss a stone or a coin, and hop your way from the first square to the last. This childhood game is basically a mirror of the tree of life described in Kabbalistic teaching. Each square represents a step your soul takes, climbing from this physical world all the way up toward heaven, that place of pure unity, then descending back to earth again, carrying everything it learned along the way. That's the human story. You started at the top, joined with the Creator, then dropped down into this heavy, dense 3D world to forget who you were. Notice that in hopscotch, you have to hop the entire course on one foot, careful never to touch a line. That same balance is what real life demands when setbacks and failures try to knock you off course from your true self. This game is about climbing back up, one square at a time, and every leap forward is another piece of your identity coming back to you. What I'm pointing to is the God mode switch that got flipped off the moment you were born into this world. It's the same switch you flip when you walk away from a job that's draining you to chase what you're actually here to do. When you take years of hardship and turn them into wisdom you can pass on to free other people. When you take a rough sketch on notebook paper and grow it into a global brand people recognize for generations. That's the work of the divine, and you've been doing it on autopilot this whole time without even realizing it. Now imagine what becomes possible once you actually understand there's meaning behind all of it. Don't get too discouraged if life hasn't gone smoothly for you so far. I understand that if you're here, you're searching for direction, some sense of where your life is headed and how to get there. Consider why forgetting had to happen at all. You can't uncover something that was handed to you already whole and finished. There's no thrill, no surprise in a gift you can already see clearly through the wrapping. Let me show you what I mean. Grab your notes, because it's story time. There was once an old craftsman who could work wonders with his hands, a puzzle maker. What brought him the most happiness each day was crafting picture puzzles for the neighborhood kids. But his puzzles were unusual. The moment a child snapped in the final piece, the whole image would light up. Imagine that kind of joy, brighter than any tablet or bag of candy could ever bring a kid. One day, he outdid himself and painted the most beautiful image he'd ever created. He was so proud of it that he decided not to cut it into pieces at all. He wrapped it whole, so the children could feel the full impact the instant they saw it. Just as he finished wrapping it, a boy came into the shop looking for his next puzzle, and the old man handed it over with a warm smile. The boy unwrapped it, and slowly the excitement drained from his eyes. The puzzle maker asked what was wrong. The boy explained that assembling the puzzle was always the best part, and this time that part was gone. The old craftsman understood immediately. With the same care he'd used to paint it, he cut the picture into countless small pieces and tossed them into a box, giving the children exactly what they'd wanted all along: the joy of putting it back together themselves. That's precisely what's unfolding in whatever part of your life you're hoping to see abundance grow. A limitless universe broke itself apart into a puzzle of tiny reflections, so you could experience the joy of creation firsthand, with your own mind. That's how you become the source of your own fulfillment here in this third dimension, through the very puzzle pieces made from your own desires. You forgot you were divine for exactly that reason. It's the only way to actually feel what becoming one is like. That's what your soul is after. It requires you to accept that you're the author of your own story, the source of your own fulfillment. You're the one accountable for the results, the only one actually doing the building. That accountability is precisely where real joy and lasting peace come from. And it's also the very thing most people spend their entire lives avoiding. Every bit of abundance you want in this life shows up carrying more responsibility on its back. More money brings more taxes and more decisions about where it goes. Deeper love brings more accountability to the person sharing your life. A bigger platform means more eyes on how you carry yourself. Real success in any business or brand you build comes bundled with the requirement to lead. There's no path to a seven-figure brand, income, or career where you get to hide in the background while someone else shoulders all the weight. Whatever you're building will always demand a responsibility equal to its size. More growth means more revenue, which means more people relying on you, which all lands back on you as the source. It's often fear of that responsibility that quietly stalls your biggest breakthroughs. Without meaning to, you hold yourself back because you dread what comes with your biggest wins. You convince yourself you need a few more years of experience, a flawless track record, another degree, outside investment, or someone else's approval before you're ready. Those are nothing more than convenient excuses, and they'll have you dodging the very abundance you claim to want without even realizing it. Accept the abundance, and accept everything that comes attached to it. Speaking of abundance, somewhere along the way, society convinced you that wanting more makes you greedy or selfish, that chasing your passions is self-centered and impractical. I'd encourage you to let go of that belief, because your divinity actually lives inside your desires. That pull you feel toward a certain lifestyle, a certain calling, a certain home, car, passion, or even a certain person. That pull is how you discover who you really are beneath all the conditioning society has layered on top of you. Desire is your compass, and it only ever points one way, toward your true self. Whatever you find yourself drawn to is essentially data from your own nervous system. It doesn't matter if it's more money, more recognition, more love, or simply feeling good in your own body every day. That pull isn't random, and it isn't a character flaw. It's a signal pointing directly at the identity waiting for you on the other side of receiving it. Because you never truly crave what you already have. Sit with that for a second. The air filling this room means nothing to you until you can't breathe it. The people nearest to you fade into the background of daily life, right up until the day they're gone. That's by design. Desire only stirs when something you had disappears. That's the paradox baked into this world. You only discover what someone or something was really worth once you've lost it. Forgetting and losing are simply two different tools doing the same job. Forgetting that you're divine never actually cost you the ability to prove it. Every loss you experience exists to rebuild the architecture of your mind bigger and stronger than before. Loss exists for a single reason: to make space for more. We tear down old stadiums and skyscrapers every year to build better ones. A caterpillar completely breaks down its own body to become a butterfly. The discomfort you feel in the middle of your own breakdown is simply your identity stretching to make room for more. Your capacity is being widened, so you can hold more responsibility, more abundance, more love, more money, and the leadership that comes with it. You asked for more, and more demands a bigger vessel and a stronger nervous system to hold it. Every ounce of pain or discomfort you feel along the way is just that vessel being resized. That's why life's hardest moments hit so hard, because sometimes you're losing something that came to you too easily in the first place, whether that's money, a title, or a relationship. It came easily enough that you never learned how to actually build or earn it yourself, so it gets taken away, forcing you to rebuild something better from your own imagination. The job market shows this same pattern, especially now, deep into the digital age. You walk away from a role you spent years earning through sheer grit, and even though it looks impressive on paper, it never quite felt right. Or maybe you're living that exact feeling right now. Leaving the old path behind is usually what points you toward your real, larger purpose. It shifts you onto the timeline where your greatest success is already waiting, the one you couldn't reach while you were still comfortable on the path you just left. And true wealth isn't only financial, it's the emotional freedom that comes when it's built the right way. And if you're in a relationship, or just came out of one, it might feel like something was ripped away from you for no reason. What's actually happening is space being cleared for something better. Either way, you come out ahead. You lose that relationship so you can build a stronger sense of self and attract a better match, or so the same person can return later in a form that can actually last. Because now your identity matches it. With all that said, does winning even mean anything if losing was never possible? Imagine a game where you're guaranteed to win, no matter what you do. Every choice pays off. Every move lands. Within a few months, you'd be bored out of your mind, because there's no real stakes behind any of it. There's no thrill in reassembling a puzzle where every piece already fits without effort. No transformation happens, which means there's no way to actually feel creation. No way to step into the role of creator. A win only means something when a loss was genuinely possible. That's exactly why you forgot you were divine in the first place. If you'd walked through life already knowing you couldn't lose, the whole thing would be meaningless, even boring. Forgetting put real stakes back into play. It made loss possible again. Which is exactly what makes remembering your true nature worth everything once you finally get there. Everything we've covered comes down to one decision. Every desire you carry is pulling you toward a bigger, stronger version of yourself. One capable of holding more than who you are right now. The universe is stretching your capacity so you can carry more success than you used to be able to, simply because you decided you were ready. You have never been separate from the Creator, or from creation itself, not for a single moment. And you never will be. You're a fragment of that Creator who chose to descend into this 3D world and hide that divinity inside a human body, because you wanted the joy of uncovering it again with your own hands. Maybe you've spent long enough calling out for God to hand you what you want. Now you know you already have everything required to create it. And the one you've been calling out to this entire time has always been you. So now that your memory's been jogged, go do what you came here to do. Thank you for sharing your time and space with me.